welcome to Wrestling and Everything, Coast to Coast, with your host, Buddy Sotelo Esquire, and the effervescent Evan Ginsberg. But we also have a frequent friend of the show and some special new guests. And so I'd like to first introduce our friend Solomon Chertok, and a movie producer and writer and so many other things. Actor, yeah, fantastic podcast guest. And then why don't you introduce the ladies that you brought on the show here tonight?
Absolutely. I feel like I'm at Yankee Stadium and I'm reading off the lineup. Batting first, center fielder for the Team Right and Titus team, DeAnna Day.
Hi, everybody.
There you go. Batting in left field, we've got Demi Davis, who's an actress, singer, model. She does it all, everybody. And batting third, we have our pitcher, Victoria Savage. Yay!
There we go. Yeah, I don't have any applause.
I hope you were doing something like that.
I don't have any applause special effects, but we do have a couple of clips to play tonight. I don't know when you want me to. Well, why don't you first tell everyone about N Titus and what these ladies' roles are in N Titus, and then maybe I'll play the intro clip.
Oh, absolutely. N Titus is from Delmar Burkett, from his wonderful brain right there. He is our George Lucas, aka our Kevin Feige in this universe. He created this a couple of years ago, originally as a live action series back in 2011. He did it for 2 seasons. And then he basically wasn't very satisfied with how it played out. And he always wanted it to, basically, there were a lot of stuff that he couldn't do in terms of special effects wise. So several people suggested to him about doing it as animation. So it took him a couple of years, and he finally got it to this point where we are right now, where N Titus is about a group of demons who are trying to resurrect their leader, Titus, to take over the world. However, for centuries, there have been warriors trying to stop them. And basically, it takes place in modern times. And one of these warriors, named Charles, voiced by AJ Velasquez, comes to my character, Robert, who basically, my character is somebody who's nerdy. He's having a bad time at his job. His girlfriend's about to...
So you typecast yourself, basically.
Well, I didn't cast me. He cast me, Delmar. I actually originally auditioned for Charles, and he was like, see, Charles is supposed to be the ladies' man, tough guy, and I didn't fit that bill, at least voice-wise. But he said to me there was this other role, and that's where Robert came in, who was kind of like the Luke Skywalker of the series. And basically, Robert gets asked by Charles, would you like to come with me on this adventure to stop these demons from resurrecting Titus? And basically, my character is like, you know what, maybe this is what I need to get out of this rut in my life and try something new. And he goes on to this amazing action-packed adventure that he can't even believe he's on at times. And he represents the audience in a sense. You see it through his eyes. But basically, to me, what season 1 is sort of this origin of this team coming together of these warriors that you get to meet that are going to be fighting these demons. And what's wonderful is from our wonderful cast right here, and we have such a multi-cast that's all over the world right here. Believe it or not, our animator, Pedro Musa, I think he's in Indonesia. But we're all over, and with a great cast. It also includes Catherine Black as Jasmine, Claudia Wynn as Megan. I want to give a big shout out to Steve Ludwig, who is the fixer on our program, and I wish him a refuah shlema. I hope he feels much better because he's had his surgery. And we wish you well, Steve. We miss you. Forbo, we need you back soon. But also, with this great cast, we have DeAnna, who plays not one role in the series, but 2 roles. She's believe it or not, a demon. So vicious. that she'll kill everybody in this room right here, with the exception of Victoria, who would join her because she's also a demon. And she
So
also,
you're saying she's also typecast?
now, I will say this: she went against type because I was pleasantly surprised that she got the role because her beforehand in another movie called David's Apartment, which I was one of the producers of, where she played the sweet girlfriend role. Her playing the villain, I was like, holy cow. She really did an amazing job. And I was like, I haven't seen this side of you before. Man, I'm getting turned on by this. Wow.
I want to play more villains. I want to play more villains, but I'm usually the nice teacher or social worker or some kind of role like that.
Well, I like it when you're bad. And then there's also Victoria, who also is a demon in this one. And she's also as wicked as she is, DeAnna. Believe it or not, the only two good guys you have on here is me and Demi, who are actually, her character, Ranger Monica, is on the good guy team here and has a history with one of the main characters, which to me I think is most fascinating, I feel, in the series, that I would love to learn more about in that sense, if, you know, for season 2. But really, I love that dynamic that Ranger Monica has with Charles, who's voiced by AJ Velasquez in her episode, which is episode 7. But they all bring something unique. As I said, you have two good guys here, two bad guys on the two heroes, two villains. But
maybe it's a good time to play the clip so people can understand what's going on. And then after that, we can meet everybody and find out more about them. What do you think? Good idea? All right, the scariest part of my business here, which is trying to go live and make this work. All right, let's see if the screen sharing is on. I think it is. Let's go ahead and play here. Let me see.
For 14 years of age.
Centuries ago, the tribe of the Kandaku warriors battled the vicious army of the warlock Titus. Overcome by jealousy and hatred because of the lost love of a woman, Jasmine, to the leader of the tribe, Karlavan, Titus vows to one day get his revenge and to take over the world. The forces of Titus' army were banished by Karlavan's warriors. But the spirit of Titus hovers over his dead soldiers, so that when the world was at its greatest turmoil, the demon souls of his soldiers would rise and resurrect Titus so that he would rise and yet rule the world. But Karlavan oversees this, and makes future plans of his own. To continue fighting Titus in his absence, Karlavan will arise his very own, the Scythian hunters.
きっと約束だよいつかまた同じ笑顔で
And that should be the clip. Stop sharing, everyone, and that was, to me, very beautiful. I mean, really a very well put together clip, and but it still leaves a lot of questions to be answered. So I'm hoping maybe even Evan might chime in and have a couple questions for our guest tonight.
Sure. I noticed that Angel Orsini, who is a real warrior in life, she's a wrestler and a martial artist, that she was promoting the clip. I saw her name to the right of the screen. What's her involvement? And also, what has been the reaction thus far from the fans? And because the animation's beautiful and the music was very striking as well in the brief clip that we saw. I was impressed by it. What's been the reaction thus far?
That's an easy answer. First off, with Angel Orsini, she's the one that works, because the thing is, Titus came online in October, Halloween of 2021, and the series finale came online on October, Halloween of 2022, where each episode came online, one episode per month. They would usually be on YouTube and Daily Motion. A lot of people thought that was kind of crazy to put the episodes on one episode per month, and that actually worked well because it allowed people to watch at their own convenience of, you know, like, so this way they're not rushed with like each episode every week, or like what Netflix does where they dump all the episodes right there and you have to watch it, binge it right then, because otherwise the following week something else comes along and you forget about that series. But that actually worked really well for that good year. And as far as with Angel, she is at EC USA, USA TV streaming, which is an app that you can download for free on your smart phone, your tablet, your smart TV. It's associated. You can download it through Roku, Apple TV, your Fire Stick, stuff like that. So basically, we'd love to thank her for getting Titus on ECUSA TV. And from what I've heard from her, people have been watching. But what we would like is to get our following that really doesn't know about it to start coming over to watch it, because this just happened recently in the past couple of weeks, I would say sort of mid-November. And as far as what the following, there actually is. And we've won several awards. Episode 1 has won an award. Episode 6 has won an award. It's been in several festivals, including the Urban Action Showcase, which big shout out to Demetrius Angelo, who runs it. And it won there for in the web series category back in 2022. And believe it or not,
we have a clip of that. We have a clip of that, and what you segued right into it. I do want to meet you, ladies, so you'll have plenty of time to talk. But let me play this clip while he brought it up, so it's topical. And then I promise you, no more clips for the rest of the show. How's that? Hold on a sec here, and over to here, and let me move this over, and let's go.
you got the audio? I think you're missing the audio. The audio wasn't playing.
Oh, the audio's not on. You see, I'm always something always happens. Hold on.
The audio.
Let me try this. Let me try this one more time. Sorry, ladies. And oh, there it is. Hold on.
All right, web series nominees.
Is that better?
Yep.
I am Titus. When my soldiers finally awaken me, I will become the ruler of this world.
Are you okay, buddy?
Don't you fucking die on me!
And the winners are Best VFX and Titus. Come on, I hope you. There you go, give it up. Best Urban Action Wet Work. Best Martial Arts Legend of No Budget Zero. Best Web Series, and Best Actor, Wet Work. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Which one is it? That's VFX, sir. Thank you. And Titus. Okay, the next one is Best Urban Action, which would be Wet Work. No, Best Urban Action. Right here. Wet Work. What's it got? Legends of No Budget Zero for Best Martial Arts. Zorro, thank you. Zorro, well, I need correction. Correct me. Zorro. And then the next one is Best Web Series and Best Actor for Wet Work. Best Web Series. All right, get in the front. Y'all go in the front. In the middle.
Finish?
Okay, everyone, thank you for your patience there. But wonderful. Congratulations on all you folks. I'm sure you all feel that you share the award for, the web series that you got. So that's really fantastic. So I'd like to find a little bit about you ladies and how you got started. Victoria, can you tell us how you got started in doing this sort of work?
Sure. Well, I've known Solomon for a long time. We worked together in New York. And then I moved here and we kept in touch. And one day I think we were just messaging and he said, "Hey, do you do voiceover?" And I said, "I do." And he said, "Well, I have an audition for you." And so he sent me the script and I did not book that audition, but Del Mar kept me in mind and then eventually did cast me. And it's been wonderful. And I'm just amazed Del Mar is a powerhouse. He's doing a lot of this and he's the force behind it. And it's very inspiring to see somebody write, direct, and then put out their own work. So it's been a lot of fun. I loved my character and I love the series. It's great.
That's fantastic. Demi, can you give us a little bit of your background?
Sure. So I'm like a quadruple threat. I model, sing, act, and dance. I started voiceover was the last thing that I learned. I had done one voiceover for this show called One Weird Island. It was this weird puppet thing that I did. I think my character was Yellow Breeze. And then Solomon and I, went back and forth before, and he told me about Del Mar's production. And so then I think they sent me the script for Ranger Monica. And that was the first time I used my own in-house studio that I set up in my apartment, which was kind of fun. So that was kind of like my second project. It was kind of cool, doing the voice and then because I had no idea what Ranger Monica looked like. So it was funny doing the voice and then seeing it come alive. So it's pretty cool.
And DeAnna, you gave us a little bit of your background, but tell us how you got started and how you got involved in this.
Well, I got started acting. I've been acting for over 30 years. And as far as getting involved in this project, I go way back with Solomon. We worked together, as he mentioned. We did a feature together, David's Apartment, when I was living in New York. I worked with him. And we kept in touch, and he was excited about this project, and we always kept in touch. And he messaged me and he said what an exciting, dynamic project it was, and that maybe there might be a role for me that I should, contact Del Mar. And he ended up sending me a script, and I recorded, auditioned, and he said I got it. And I was very excited because we mentioned before, this is completely against type. Getting to play a demon, she kicks everybody's butt, she kills everyone, she's like a ninja warrior. This is way different than any other project I've done before.
So tell me, and anyone can chime in, or you can go in order if you want. How do you get into character, especially considering it's a voice thing and you don't have any physical cues work off of as standard actors or actresses normally do. Tell me how that works for you folks and how it's different for you, especially if you're used to acting in a physical sense.
I really respond to location. So I imagine, or sometimes I even go like, for example, part of my character is walking along a sidewalk, so I will go do that and, you know, imagine the sun on me and the trees and like what's going on. So I really respond to location. And then frankly, I'll rehearse with a friend. I'll give them the script and we'll run through it and find the beats and the ups, the highs and the lows and all of that.
And Demi, or DeAnna, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Demi, I'm just going to jump in. Sorry.
Go ahead.
So I analyze the script analysis, the prep that I do, the character work that I did was the same as like a physical action. It's just, you know, you work more with the voice and the texture of the voice and differing up intonations and things like that. But a lot of the way I prep is analyzing the script. So just knowing the script and kind of knowing like a little bit of where the character's going, that helped me.
Now, DeAnna, are you from the South? You sound like you.
I am from Virginia, yes.
Okay,
so
so I can
a little bit
of the accent there. Is that something that you dampen down, or is it something you think gives your character a little bit more of a specialty because you've got the Southern accent? How do you use that?
Well, a lot of times, if it's not notated exactly where the character's from, I'll do my natural accent. But when I was working in New York a lot, I lost a lot of my accent. The 10 years I lived there, I think I lost a little bit of it. I've been living back in Virginia for 8 years now, and it's come back. But I can drop it, but I'm just having normal conversation now, so I'm not focusing on doing it. But I think for some characters, it does add a little texture. If someone likes it and they say keep it, I'm like, sure.
Now, Demi, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what gets you into that character and what keeps you in that character, how you get in and out of that character, because that's always something.
Yeah, I think my process is the same thing, script analysis. I kind of try to read as much about like whatever I'm given. I try to read as much about it as I can so that I can analyze, you know, who is this person? What do they want? Where are they? You know, what are their goals? And then look at the dialogue to see, you know, what clues, you know, like Ranger Monica has history with Charles, which is the guy that she meets up with. So it's like, okay, you can see what kind of relationship they have. You know, does she like him? Does she hate him? You know, what might, and then you fill in the blanks. Like I may not have all the details, but based off of the clues from the script, I can kind of make up in my head what kind of relationship she has or how she's feeling and kind of put that into myself to say, okay, if this was me and someone said this to me and then this was happening, how would I react? And I kind of just go off of that.
Yeah, do you actually draw from your personal experiences when you do that? Is that something that you work with?
Yeah, I try to think of every character that I do as the Demi version of this character, because that's essentially to me what acting is. It's yourself in the role of that person. So the Demi in a multiverse way, I guess the best way is if this is the multiverse and I wasn't Demi, I'm Ranger Monica. What would Ranger Monica do if this happened? You know, and
can you give an example? Can you give an example where that happened?
Yeah, like specifically Ranger Monica, I'm typically easygoing, lighthearted, bubbly and stuff, but I play dark characters too. Ranger Monica, she's nice, but she's definitely had history with Charles, which is the other character. So like for instance, you know, she sees him and she immediately goes to like this place of, oh, it's you. Oh yeah, you cheated on me. You know what I mean? Right after we broke up, you were with somebody else, and she's holding on to it. Like me as a person, I probably wouldn't be that dark. But this character goes there. She is like, you know, she can tell she's tough and doesn't, you know, play that. So it's not always the you yourself, the character, like what you would do. It's kind of like, okay, if you were this character and this character is this type of personality, how would you take that on? So it's kind of fun to see the darker sides and the lighter sides of your own personality.
Excellent. Evan, do you have some questions?
I've done voiceover work on King of the Ring, the radio drama, so I respect the medium. And my question for everybody is, why, as New York-based actors, why would you consider relocating? Why LA over New York, or Virginia over New York, or whatever the case may be? When I think of New York, I think more of theater and TV, but I mean, there's a huge film industry here as well. So what makes you decide where you're going to finally, set shop?
I personally always loved New York. So when I graduated college, I moved there. I did want to try LA, and LA actually was my plan a couple years ago, but that fell through because of my mom's animal sanctuary. That's why I'm in Virginia helping her.
Oh, okay.
So she needed help. She's older. So that's why I'm here back in Virginia. But I did want to try LA, but I love the vibe of New York. I love New Yorkers. It's a very straightforward, and I love theater as well as film. So that was always the appeal to me. If I'm able to leave Virginia, I actually want to just move around and work projects and come home because my mom needs my help. But I'm an intimacy coordinator now as well. So I would like to work in New York, then work in LA. But
what is that exactly? Not everybody can know.
Okay, so an intimacy coordinator, where they're becoming more popular now, they're the ones that come in and choreograph and oversee your spicy scenes or scenes of intimacy.
Okay.
It's not always sex. Sometimes if you're doing a family scene and you have to have a child sit on someone's lap and that's not their real parent, so you're choreographing. It's 1/3 choreography, 1/3 advocacy, and like 1/3 kind of liaison. You're helping with the intimacy garments. It's very complex. You have to have mental health, first aid. There's a lot of skills required for it. It appealed to me because of my acting background, and I also have a little bit of dance choreography in my background, and I love advocating for people. While I've been in Virginia, I've been teaching ESL, working with immigrants. So the advocacy piece appealed to me as well. But it's up and coming.
ESL, that's something you have in common, Evan, with DeAnna.
I've done that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Victoria, I wanted to ask you a question. How do you feel about like people who say that if you're a voice actor, you're not a real actor. You're a cartoon character, but you're not really an actor. What's your response to that?
I think that people who say things like that don't understand the process. They don't understand it actually takes a lot more technique to be a voice actor, because sometimes you are just in a room by yourself and there's a tech outside and you have to imagine reactions and you have to, imagine the location, and it's actually harder. And a lot of times voice actors can do multiple roles. Like, my character, I don't want to give too much away, but my character goes through an extreme change. And so it kind of felt, it was 2 roles that I played, and I have played multiple roles in multiple different projects. So actually, in my opinion, being a voice actor is double duty, but it's also more fun. Like, you get to really show off the different parts of you. Like Demi said, you can be the sweetheart in one episode, and then you can be the monster in another. So I think people who don't know much about voice acting might say something like that.
And what do you think about major stars, like let's say a John Cena or Kevin Hart, doing tons of voiceover work, including TV commercials? Part of me, respects it, and part of me is like, give the little guys a chance. I mean, I had John Cena on like every third commercial, and you know, the guy's swimming in cash, and there's a lot of voiceover actors that would love to get those gigs. What's your take on that?
My take on that is actually what I was saying earlier, how impressed I am with people like Delmar and Solomon who do their own work, because I think that the industry is, obviously we all know, is going through enormous changes and has been. And the way to really break through, in my opinion, the way to become a John Cena is to do your own work, showcase yourself, you know, do things that really set your soul on fire, and people will notice. They will absolutely notice. And so projects like this really fill me with gratitude and excitement, because it will work. Like, it will absolutely work, and we will all be John Cena's, you know, if we stick to it and do what we want.
Demi, I had a question for you, and that is, you said that you have, Solomon, you had something you wanted to throw in there? Go ahead.
We go in with Demi first. To go in with what Victoria was saying, a couple of things. First off, with voicing different roles. Believe it or not, in this series, there have been actors that have voiced multiple characters in season 1. And DeAnna was one of them, who voiced the demon character Gloria, but she also, in the final episode, I'll never forget this because I didn't even recognize her, she voiced another character, Chelsea, at a special party scene. And I gotta say, because I forgot to mention 2 other cast members, so we have such a huge cast. They're also in that last episode with Victoria and with DeAnna. Scream Queen Debbie D, who Evan I know knows. And she does scream in that scene. So congratulations.
She's good at that.
Yeah, but get her in animated form. She's never done that. You know, she's done that live action. She's never done that. You know, she's been killed so many times in screams, you know, but for her to do that animation wise, it makes sense. You know, I give Delmar a lot of credit terms of casting. But DeAnna was also in that episode, in that scene, which to me, that party scene is all I'm going to say, kind of makes me think of Carrie, the famous high school scene, the prom scene, if you know what I mean. Put it back, I didn't even recognize DeAnna's voice because it was completely different than what she did as Gloria in that. And in addition, I was asked myself, Delmar, for episode 8, one of the actors had to drop out because of a medical emergency. And he asked me, could I do a stoner voice for this character? And the character even would interact with my character. So he said, could you do a stoner voice? So I was like, what's up? Yo, Evan, Russ, DeAnna, Victoria, Demi, what's up? Man, this is some good stuff I'm smoking. You want some, Evan? Oh, hey. All I had to do was act and talk like that.
Solomon, I got to introduce you to some real stoners, but in the meantime,
you don't have to introduce. No, you don't have to introduce right there.
Demi, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
You have so many different things that you do, and you're so talented. Where does voice acting, when you talk about what you do, where do you bring up your that you've done an animated voice? Is it one of the things you lead with, or is it you model first, then singer, then cartoon voice? How does it fit in your resume?
I mean, I guess in the wheelhouse of everything, it kind of goes with the acting aspect. So like with acting, I do like legit, I do commercial, and I also do voiceover. So to me, they all kind of go in the actor cabinet more so than the other stuff. So it's kind of with that kind of thing where like sometimes I think also with voiceover was funny too. It's similar in doing a scene, because sometimes when you shoot for TV or film or commercial, whatever, you'll do, you do your wide shot, you do your close up, and then sometimes you have to do, and the other actor has to close up, so you have to feed them their lines. You're not on camera, you're just feeding their lines. So that was the start of what I felt like in voiceover, in the sense that you're just saying your lines and the camera's not on you, so you can just do whatever you want. So that's kind of like the same feeling to me as doing voiceover, in the sense that, like, you know, you're not on camera, so you can do whatever you want, and you're just feeding the other actor their lines. So that's kind of, to me, the start of it, like the feeling.
But sorry.
You should know one thing. Demi has an amazing singing voice. You should hear her sing. I believe it or not, Evan, if we were still doing Gizzy's, those parties, remember at Gizzy's Cafe? You would be asking Demi to perform there, because she has an amazing singing voice. You should check her out, especially, well, Demi, what's the sites where they can check out your music videos?
Thank you. My website is demidavis.com, DEMIDAVIS.com, and it has all my music and stuff. I just did a Christmas EP. So I did an original song called Presents Over Presents, which is, you know, a little play on words about being there for Christmas as opposed to gifts. And then I did a cover of Oh Holy Night, but kind of like a pop digi like EDM type thing.
Could we put you on the spot and have you sing just like a couple of quick lines from it, or is it that you need to warm up and everything?
Oh, I mean, I could sing it. Your presents over presents on Christmas Day. Don't need anything else but you. Your presents over presents. I need you to stay. Be with me forever and ever.
That's wonderful. Terrific. Thank you. Thank you for giving. I know it's putting you on the spot, but I appreciate you rising to the occasion on something like this. So, Solomon, you had some other things you wanted to bring up, or another point here?
Because one thing I have to bring up, because we do have what I love about this cast, and Delmar's the genius because he's casting based on the voice. It's not what you look like. It's basically when he gets the sides and basically he hears your recording of it, he'll automatically know if you're that character or if a different character. And we have such a huge cast from all over the country. Besides Debbie D, I just want to give a big shout out to two other people also in the cast. Bettina Sky, who is Mrs. Greenlee. She's a great actress, Bettina. I've worked with her before. And also Tara Erickson, who was also in, Bettina was actually in episode 6. And DeAnna should know that, I don't want to give away, but let's just say she laid the smackdown on some people in that episode. And as one other person I want to bring out, also in episode 9, had a hell of an interaction with Victoria as well as Debbie and DeAnna. Her name is Tara Erickson. She's also in LA. She's an amazing actress, TaraErickson.com. She can actually see on YouTube. She's on Real Rejects with her and Roxy Stryer, where they do a lot of these movie watch-alongs as well. And her does a bunch of zombie films, A Real Killjoy. She's an actress to look for, as well as a lot of this cast. I feel like it's like Star Trek, where it's an amazing ensemble, and people are realizing they're seeing that here. And that's something I'm kind of proud of, because the one thing I keep saying, like Evan, you mentioned before with a following, this past November, I was just at the Urban Action Showcase promoting a movie that was screened there. And I was identified from 2 years ago for Titus. And people were coming over to me for selfies, which is a little bit weird, surreal for me, because I'm usually the one.
You have a cult following, Solomon. It's awesome.
Well, put it this way, it shows that it's growing. And then people were asking me what's next for me. So I said, it's Titus season 2. And I started to record the first episode for that. And they were excited. And
I think you're a perfect representative for any project, because you sincerely believe in it and you promote it and you get behind it and you champion it. And not everybody does. Some people are creatives, but they have no promotional sense, and it all has to fall into place. Yeah, I mean, you could do the best project ever, but if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, then, you know, there's a ton of content out there, and there's a ton of great content, and there's a ton of garbage. And if you guys are doing quality work, you get it out there and promote it. And Solomon does, and, you know, respect for that.
been wonderful is that, believe it or not, people in the industry have been looking at this, including celebrities.
You never know how far you could take something. This could be the next Star Trek. You don't know. 5 years from now, this could be, a massive hit like The Walking Dead. You have to be in it to win it. You never know how far you could take a project. We worked on The Wrestler for 7 years. Next thing you know, Mickey Rourke is up for the Golden Globe and the Academy Award, and I acted with him in it. I was one of the producers, but I'm just saying, you just fall into things sometimes, and you never know if it's even going to come off, let alone blow up at some point. So, take this as far as you can, and you don't know how far it could go.
One thing
Still waiting for the show to blow up, but it'll happen. Maybe this will be the episode.
Yeah,
I wanted to
what Evan was saying for just a second there, because going back to the following thing, I really wish that when I've been to the festivals representing in Titus, because we're all from all over, and I was the only one there representing in 2022. And the only thing is, I really wish that the cast was there. I wish Delmar was there, because this is not my project. This is an ensemble. When you're doing a film, this is an ensemble, cast and crew. It's not one person.
Always.
Representative. But the thing was that I really wish everybody was there for is to see the reaction from people, what I saw. And the only thing I could do was take pictures and videos of it, of what, like you saw in the video right there. I was actually taking a picture of the screen, and I'll never forget, I was posting it that night to getting the word out that it won. And all of a sudden I'm hearing from people, oh, I wish I was there. I should have been there. And the thing is, hearing from people, because that year, I think we were the only animation, well, definitely for web series, but I think only animation for that film festival that year. And I remember the celebrities and everybody were looking when they popped up. They were like, oh, animation. It looked like it was a breath of fresh air for them to see that. And then people like just this past November coming over, and that they really loved the series. And now that we're on the streamer ECUSA, which you can download off your iPhone, off the smartphone, the TV, all that stuff.
There goes the promoter again. That's the promoting side.
I wear the promotion.
That's right.
VDM.com. You can actually buy the shirts, buy the hat, buy the coffee mugs. They have magnets too. There's a merchandise page, and TitusVDM.com. You can get all the merchandise you want, as the shirt, the baseball cap, and other goodies that's there. I'm waiting for the action.
Holidays are coming up, everybody, so don't forget.
Action figures is what I'm waiting for. But the one thing,
Solomon Chertok action figures. I'm looking forward to that.
One thing I need to say is, at some point in 2025, the episodes, which are currently also on YouTube and Daily Motion, might be coming down. That ECUSA is the new home for Titus. I have no idea what's going to be with the future in terms of what it's going to look like, especially for season 2, which we just started. And I definitely would love to see these wonderful ladies back for season 2. There's so much that could be done, and a lot more people want to get involved in it, both celebrity-wise. People are just loving it and seeing people's reactions. That's the one thing that I wish, from what I've been experiencing, is that I wish that they could see that their work is cherished. Everybody's work, whether Victoria, Demi, DeAnna, AJ, Catherine, Claudia, Steve, Bettina, Victoria, Debbie D.
Solomon, you should never do this, because the one person you forget is going to be pissed off. That's what happens with actors.
Well, the thing is, by doing it as much as possible and saying it over and over, people remember. That's fun.
Hey, let me flip the script for a second. DeAnna, we're approaching the holidays. I just adopted 2 rescue kittens, and you mentioned your mom. So please tell the people they should really adopt for the holidays. There's so many animals in need, and maybe plug your mom's sanctuary.
Yes, definitely adopt. Don't shop. Don't go to breeders, because there's thousands and thousands of shelter animals that get killed every day. So you definitely want to adopt from a local shelter. And if you're interested in the animals, we have to see the pictures. Sometimes I post videos of their hijinks. Actually, I post on my Instagram, which is Miss DeAnna M. Day, but there is a healingheartsanimalsanctuary.com.
When you say animal sanctuary, I'm getting the impression it's not just cats and dogs. It
is cats and dogs. The reason it's a sanctuary is because we don't have an adoption program, because we have animals that are sick or injured and not so adoptable. Usually when you say rescue, they have an adoption program, but we have the ones that have to have insulin daily, and they're a little bit tough cases. Not saying someone couldn't adopt them, but they're really special needs. So they would need a really special patient willing owner. But so that's the difference. And unfortunately for sanctuaries, they usually don't get as much funding because a lot of funding comes from adoption programs. But yeah, if you're interested in our sanctuary to see what we're doing, I have a, my Instagram page and also Facebook, Healing Hearts Animal Sanctuary on Facebook, and healingheartsanimalsanctuary.com is the website. But we do have cats. We did have a few dogs. Now we just have one dog because we've had some that have died. We had a lot of older animals, but we have some interesting cats. I do post videos. Some of them are pretty crazy.
And Victoria, do you have what other projects do you have going on, or things that you, when you're not being a cartoon voice? Tell me what else you have going on.
There's a lot, actually. I'm writing, producing, and starring in a web series about two crazy half-sisters because I have a lot of crazy half-siblings. So I have 2 episodes left to shoot for that. And my writing partner, Tim Davis, and I are working on a supernatural podcast, which is Demon Hunters in Los Angeles. We live in a very interesting neighborhood in Los Angeles with all sorts of dark history. And so we've decided to sort of fold the history of the neighborhood into a supernatural script. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
Wow, that's great.
And what's the name of your series?
Yes.
It's called Berta May and Balula. And the half-sisters start out really hating each other at the beginning. Lots of jealousy, lots of weird family dynamics. I don't know if any of you have half siblings, but it's weird. So anyway, and then they go through some shenanigans, and one saves the other's life sort of inadvertently, and then they hash it out and become friends at the end.
Now, I don't want to bring anybody down, but I do want to bring up one ugly concept, and I want to hear what you ladies have to think about it. And also Solomon, what do you folks think about AI and possibly being, a challenge to what you do as actresses and voice talent, and maybe the AI being there to replace what you folks are working so hard to do in person? What do you have to say about that?
I think AI is a bit of a thing, right? Because it has good points in that it can bring a nuance to, I think, film, TV, music. But it's bad and lazy when people try to just use it and to replace true actors and voiceovers, because there is a human touch to things. Mm-hmm. And I think trying to shortchange the process by just slapping, an AI voice or an AI actor is kind of, it loses its own inauthenticity. So I think it can be a good thing if you use the right way, but it's very easy to take the easy way out and the cheap way out by just replacing, real actors.
I completely agree with Demi. If it's used as a tool to enhance film and creativity, that's one thing. But if it's going to take away the human touch and the nuances of humanity that people have, then I think it's a problem. Yes.
Yeah, I also agree with that. I actually use AI a lot just for organizational stuff and planning, but I have listened to other podcasts that use AI voices for their actors, and there really is something missing. It's not as deep.
Can you give us an example of how you use it for planning? It's very interesting to hear you say that. Yeah. How do you use it?
Yeah, So I like to schedule some things out so that I know what I'm doing every week. So I'll literally go to ChatGPT and I'll say, or any of them, Claude, like whatever, and I'll say, hey, give me a production schedule for this week. And then, but you have to be specific with it. It's really not at a level where it can read anybody's mind. Like you have to talk to it like your personal assistant. So you have to be like, okay, I want to shoot 3-minute videos this week, and these are the topics, and I want I want hashtags so that YouTube will pick it up, and I want SEO, and I want this, and I want that, and it will give me like, okay, Monday, you're going to write this amount, and then Tuesday you're going to shoot this video. And I mean, you can really use it as a personal assistant, I guess, to sort of help you plan things. But right now I haven't seen any really great AI that's going to take over anybody's job. That will probably come. But as everybody here said, there's depth missing. They've been trying to get rid of actors for years, like years. I mean, they haven't done it yet. So I don't know.
Solomon, do you use AI at all? Did you use AI to help make any of these films?
Everybody listens to James Cameron, who said it best. The Terminators are coming. Yes, I'm going to get you all. Yes, I'm going to get started with Evan and then get you, Russ. Yes, going to pump you up. Didn't anybody see The Matrix? Didn't anybody see The Terminator, for crying out loud? It's not good. It's not good. What do you think will happen next? What do you think these movies are about? Come on, use your head. Hello, anybody home?
But yet it's really tempting, though. It's especially when you see other producers that are using it, other filmmakers that are using it, it does make you feel like if having an advantage that you don't have, or you're having to work harder than they are because they're using AI, does that tempt you to want to use AI in what you do?
I don't use it, but what's interesting was because they're doing the technology to make you look younger, which is that whole big, I forgot what it's called. They use it a lot in The Irishman to make De Niro and all of them look younger. I just saw recently, and this was done with consent, with William Shatner. There is a Star Trek fan film. I can't remember the name of it, but Shatner consented to it, where they used his face to make him look younger. And they also got the consent from Leonard Nimoy's family as well to use his image, where they used it as well. And I thought that was really well done, where if it's regulated like that, then yes. But if not, and this is where all with the actors strike and all that stuff that had to be in the contracts, which is why the actors last year, my SAG brothers and sisters, were all on strike to get all that stuff in there to make sure those precautions. And it's still going on even now with video games and other stuff to make sure that your voice will not be stolen, and you replicated and used for that. So it has to be regulated. But to me, it's the human person. Don't take it away, because there's that danger. And as James Cameron said, watch out, you fools, the apocalypse is coming. And I don't mean Schwarzenegger. See the
It's just so tough because there's this temptation to want to cut corners because your job is so complicated, and trying to rally everybody around and trying to coordinate everyone. I mean, hey, it was tough enough to get everybody together for this panel tonight. So, I always feel that there's that temptation to want to shortcut, and it's really hard, to do things the old fashioned way. That and having people supply their own voices and all of that. I kind of remember the Simpsons cartoon with the Poochie the dog, and there's one moment where Homer is doing a panel with the lady who did the voice of Roadrunner, and she said, so Homer goes, "Oh, so you're the one that did Meep Meep," and she said, "No, I only did Meep." And then they sampled the other meme, and so I only got paid for for doing one knee. And so, you know, I think about that too. You know, I know that that's something that voice actors always go through. I have one more question because we're running at the end of the hour here, and then if Evan has a follow-up one, and that is, how did you coordinate all these folks in so many different locations and get them all on the same page, different time zones and different talents and all of that stuff, and they all have busy projects going on? How did you get everybody together so that Titus would be able to work and flow and finish on time? Tell me how you're able to do that.
2 words: Delmar Burkett. He is our Kevin Feige. He is our George Lucas. He is the one that puts everything together. He is the captain of the ship. And this is his vision, and he puts everything. He works so hard putting this thing together, and we're from all over. And he basically, what you need is this little thing, which a lot of us record with. It's the microphone over here, which I don't know if you can see right over there with the pop shield. And we're basically recording from our homes, you know, because we're not in a studio, one of those professional studios. We're recording from here, where we get a delayed reaction rather than when you're in the studio, you get the immediate reaction from the director saying, try it again. You know, I like what you did here, do it differently here, or this was good. Your work may be like a couple hours, it could be a couple of days, a week, till you find out, yeah, you got it right, or you have to re-record the whole thing. So Delmar is very good at that. He knows he has the perfect ear to find out what he wants. And he automatically, by putting this amazing ensemble cast that we have, and if season 1, which is on ECUSA TV, get that app. Let me tell you, season 2, and I can tell you from the first episode, it's another roller coaster ride. And the one thing I love with the show is it's like those old-fashioned serials, kind of like the 66 Batman TV show of Adam West, where it always ends on a cliffhanger, or my favorite show, 24 of Kiefer Sutherland, where it always would end in such a cliffhanger, and you don't know who's going to live, who's going to die, who's killing people off. And that's the most exciting thing about it. And I can tell you, after reading and recording the lines for that first episode of season 2, it's another roller coaster ride. That's what Delmar has in plan for all of us. Have no idea what to expect. And that was the thing when we did season 1. Nobody knew. There was no outline. We had no idea what was going to come from it. And he is the magician. He is George Lucas. He is Kevin Feige. He knows point A, B, C, and D. And I think also by not telling us what goes on, because me and Steve Ludwig would always try to guess what would happen in the next episode, and we were always wrong.
That's good stuff.
You missed the birth of your mother and father. Don't miss season 2 of Titus.
That's perfect.
Oh, no, and there'll be, yeah.
Great.
Any final plugs, everybody?
Yes, please. Please, everyone, give out your social media or how people can get a hold of you or check out your next project. Victoria.
I'm on Instagram and Blue Sky, Victoria Savage. And watch out for Bertame and Balula, the web series, and I Am Tiger 50, the podcast.
Wonderful. Demi?
DemiDavis.com, and my Instagram is at Demi360, so at Demi360.
Wonderful. DeAnna?
So I am on Blue Sky and also on Instagram, Miss DeAnna M. Day, and I'll be updating that about my intimacy coordinator projects, because I have a couple of those coming up next.
And who cares about Solomon? You plug yourself enough.
I am right. Matter with you. Well, you can check out my films on Tubi. 350 days. Oh wait, that's your films, Evan. That's your plug. But a big shout out to Trevor, the cast and crew, Dave DeSico for congratulations, Urban Action Showcase this past November, winning for Best Action Horror Thriller film there. And congratulations to cast and crew. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, God knows what else.
And Evan, just a little quick wrap up yourself.
350 Days with Bret Hart and 36 pro wrestling legends. Wrestling Then and Now, Killer Kowalski, Don Arnold, Nikolai Volkov. Evan Ginsberg's Old School Wrestling Memories Facebook page. And we're going to have a bunch of film and book projects out in 2025. COVID slowed us down a bit, and it's all happening next year. And next year is 3 weeks away, so looking forward to it. And what an honor it is to have all of you on the show. And we hope that one day we'll say we knew you when we did this podcast in 2024, and now he or she's one of the biggest stars in the galaxy. You never know how far you could take any of this. So best
all
of
of you
luck to all
are
of you.
very talented, and it's been my absolute pleasure to meet you folks on a virtual basis. And it's always great for Solomon to bring guests on the show like this. You're all wonderfully talented. And
Max Bialystock over there, Mr. Evan Ginsberg right there. As I'm Leo Bloom and he's Max Bialystock. We're doing our springtime for Hitler 2 coming up, as well as any
That's right.
Brooks effort that we can think
if
of.
I'm so lucky, maybe I might be a cartoon voice to join the rest of you folks. That's one of my big bucket lists. So
He knows you want to get on there.
I know it's shameless that I put myself that hard.
Everybody wants to win, but
maybe I might live the dream. I might get to live the dream. You never know. Anyway, folks, have the happiest of holiday seasons for everyone. We'd love to have you on the show again, especially, when Titus season 3 is ready to go. And we'll catch up with you. Well, no, I'm saying when 2 is done and Titus 3, season 3 is ready to go, or the motion picture or something. Titus, the multi-million-dollar motion picture is ready to go. We'd love to have you.
Dream big.
Yes, absolutely. Until then, everyone, good night, and we'll see everybody soon. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.
Right.
Right.